Welcome to Scrum and Code channel. My name is Fuji Wing, software engineer. This screencast is for part 2 of the tutorial Angular 11 CRUD 100,000 rows. In this video, I will do code walkthrough of TypeScript for CRUD, which stands for create, read, update, and delete. Before deep dive into the code, let's review the master details layout for navigation to data. Master details pattern is typically used when you want to build an application address book or any app that is based on list details layout. Or you want to locate and prioritize a large collection of content, and to allow the quick addition and removal of items from a list while working back and forth between contexts. When implementing the master details pattern, you can use either the stack style or the side-by-side style, based on the amount of available screen space. For the mobile, it's typically like 322 pixels and the tablet is 340. So the stack is recommended. For desktop 640 or large tablets, it can use side by side. In the side-by-side style, the master pane and the details pane are visible at the same time. In the stack style, only one pane is visible at a time, the master or the details. One way to create the stack master details pattern is to use separate pages. Place the master view on one page and the details pane on the separate page. For this tutorial, we are going to build the apps that will be responsive, run on both mobile, tablet, and desktop. So now I'm going to switch to the Visual Studio. I'm going to show you the master page and the detail page. In the Angular project that you can download from the GitHub, navigate to the source app and then the master here. The master, the component HTML is the markup where there will be the add button on the upper right corner so that user can click on it to add a new row, a new position. And then there's an HTML markup right here for the Angular data tables to allow display of the table where you can do sorting, paging, filtering. Line 26 right here is to hyperlink the position number so that when the user click on this, it will then take to the detail page. The code behind TypeScript is in the master.components.ts. Line 29 right here is calling the backend REST API to retrieve the data for display. Line 41 to 59 are used to set the column name as well as the data field coming back for display. So that's the master page. Let's take a look at the detail page. The detail page is in the source app and then the detail folder here. So let's take a look at the HTML markup. And then after that, we'll take a look at the TypeScript behind it. The detail page consists of markup for the XML form. Its name is entry form. Line number 9 to display the mode, the form mode, either is it an edit or new. So it's to provide a visual to the user what mode is it in. Down here are the different form field, like the ID, the position number, these for the input, and also have validation in here. It's required. This field called position number, position title, position description, the input, position salary, and for CRUD related, there's a button here called create. There's one here called update. And delete. So let's take a look at the code behind. Notice that for every button right here, there is a JavaScript handler in the back. So for example, if I click on the delete, there will be a on delete JavaScript on the code behind that will handle it. So let's go and take a look at this detailed components here. This entry form is used the reactive form, so there's some entry form variable up here defined, like entry form is a form group. And line 37 is to initialize that form using the reactive form in Angular. The on init here, it says when the form is loaded, it's going to check to see if any ID passed in from the URL, the routing parameter. Because on the master page says the position is hyperlinked. So that ID can be passed in, and it's going to checking to see if that ID is there. Then if it's there, then it's going to read. So this is part of the CRUD, the all read, and read the data for display. And if the ID is there, it's going to set the form mode to edit. If the ID is not there, then it says a new form. Continue on. There's the on create right here is to handle the create button click on the master on the XML markup. The on update here is going to handle the update button here. Same thing for the on delete, handle the delete button. And this part out here to do with CRUD. So this one is the read. When it's read, it says, okay, reading what? We need to pass in an ID, so it can do a lookup in the back end. And it's called the REST API service and do a get. And when the data return, it will then set the values to the form entry. The delete down here is called the HTTP delete REST service. And if it's successfully delete, then it's going to do a modal pop-up. So success right here is a great job, data is delete. This is the toaster service. For the create, it will call up the HTTP client, the post method here. And if it's successfully insert, then it's going to do a toaster and show great job, data is inserted. The put is for the update. Notice that when we do a put, we also send in the unique ID of that record as well as all the form fields data. This create form down here is just to initialize the reactive form. Notice that all the form field are marked as required field. Except for position salary, I use the open source package called RxWeb validators. It has a unique way of make sure the form field is numeric, and it's allowed the comma in there. Line 143 shows success right here is the toaster service. All right, let's go ahead and run the application. ng -o, open the browser. Okay, so now we have the application running on the desktop. I can click on Add to go to the detail page and enter, complete a form, click on Create. So that's part of the CRUD, Create, the letter C. Go back. These positions are hyperlinked, so if I click on one of these, it will take me to the detail page here, and there's a read on the back end by the ID, so the ID is shown here, and it finds the data in the backend database and populate the entry form. And part of the CRUD is the letter U for update. See the toaster pop up. And then the letter D is for delete. And we have the modal pop up to do validation. So this tutorial, we mentioned this application is going to be responsive, also run on the desktop as well as the tablet and mobile. So let's go ahead and test it on the smaller device. To do that, let's use the web app simulator. You can try that on your own by visiting the appsimulator.net here. Let's try the apps on the Galaxy Tab 4. This is a tablet. I'm running this on local, so I'm going to put in localhost and then port 4200 here. I'm going to click on simulate. So now we see that the app is running on the tablet device. So let's see what it looks like. Let me make it a little bit bigger here. Scroll down. One app running desktop, now the tablet. And this, drill down to a position, select position, look at the detail, click on update, click on delete. There's 100,000 rows in the back end, so it's okay to delete it. One of these for testing. Say data deleted. Let's try on a phone. So this one has several phones right here, a little bit old here. Let's try the Apple iPhone 6 Plus. And simulate here. So now the application run on the smaller device, the phone. Let's make it a little bit bigger here so we can see. It's display okay. Let me scroll down. And we're using Bootstrap version 4, turning on the table responsive. So now the bar down here available, so we can still scroll to the right and see all the columns here. As you will drill down to select one of the position here to go to the detail page. And then click on update. Great job. Data is update. Let's delete another one. Oh. Data is delete. This concludes the screencast of the part 2 of the tutorial Angular 11 CRUD 100,000 rows. Thank you for watching.